Radhe. एक पर्दा के कुसुम बने आवर्दा के गोवर्धने, एक पर्दा के ताल बने आवर्दा के तमल बने। राधे राधे और राधे राधे गो जय राधे राधे। गोसाई मालिन बासन दिए गाय ब्राजे धुलाए गदगद जाए। ओ राधे 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 राधे। कोताई गो प्रेम माई राधे राधे। ओ कोताई गो प्रेम माई राधे राधे। मुके राधा राधा बोले बासे नयनेर जले। ओ मुके राधा राधा बोले बासे नयनेर जले। ओ राधे राधे ओ राधे जय श्री राधे। मुखे राधा राधा बोले बासे नयनेर जले। वृंदावन कुले कुले के देवे दाई राधे बोले। राधे 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 ओ राधे राधे। ओ कोथाय गो प्रेम मोई राधे राधे। गोसाई 56 नवरात्रि दिने जाने न राधा गोविंद बिने। नवरात्रि दिने जाने न राधा गोविंद बिने। नवरात्रि दिने जाने ओ राधे राधे राधे। ओ कोथाय गो प्रेम मोई राधे राधे। तारपर चारी दंड स्तुति ताके स्वप्ने राधा गोविंद देखे। राधे राधे ओ कोथाय गो प्रेम माई राधे राधे। जय राधे जय कृष्णा जय राधे जय श्री कृष्ण। जय रूप रघुनाथ रूप रघुनाथ रूप रघुनाथ जय रूप रघुनाथ। गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। O Radha, who are full of prem, where are you? Where are you, O Radhe? All glories to you. Radhe, give me your darshan and save my life. Your wretched beggar calls out to you. Radhe, Radhe. Radhe, you engage in amorous pastimes in Vrindavan. Radhe, you are the enchantress of the mind of Krishna. Radhe, you are the crest jewel amongst your 8 principal Sakhis. Radhe, you are the charming daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. As a practice, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is calling out Radhe, Radhe, continually calling out. One time he calls out at Keshighat, another time he calls out at Vamshivat. Radhe, Radhe. One time he calls out at Nidhuvan, another time he calls out at Sevakunj. Radhe, Radhe. One time he calls out at Radha Kund, another time he calls out at Shyam Kund. Radhe, Radhe. One time he calls out at Kusum Sarovar, another time he calls out at Govardhan. Radhe, Radhe. One time he calls at Talvan, another time he calls at Tamalvan. Radhe, Radhe. Wearing faded and worn cloth, he rolls in the dust of Braj, singing Radhe, Radhe. Calling out Radhe, Radhe, he becomes submerged in the tears flowing from his eyes. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. He wanders throughout the lanes of Vrindavan, weeping and exclaiming, Radhe, Radhe. Throughout 56 dandas of the day, 1 danda equals 24 minutes. He knows nothing but Radha Govinda, Radhe, Radhe. Then he takes rest for only 4 dandas, 1 hour 36 minutes, and he sees Radha Govinda in his dreams. Radhe, 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 Radhe. Mantra.
I want to go fetch bring some men here. I will go better. It's okay. And I have to grab my notebook.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Nitai Gora, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora, Haribo, Nitai Gora, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora, Haribo, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Back to back.
And can I have the pink one? Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Twadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namah Yang Pravarjantam Manupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Viraka Taruajuhava Putre Ditanmayataya Taravo Banedus Tang Sarvapu Hridayam Muni Manatosmi Bhaktya Vinay Apurada Lakshay Chaptasya Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripamayi Tvang Sharanam Prapadyam Brinde Namaste Chadanadavindam Tavoivasmi Najivami Tam Vinam Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tam Nayamam Charanantike Kripayati Yadi Radha Padita Sheshabadha Kema Padambashishtam Pushtimaryadayorme Yadi Vadati Chakinchit Smera Sodita Sri Twijavada Mani Pamtya Mukti Shuktyaktadagyam Shama Sundaram Sekanda Shekhar Smera Samurali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanidhe Swapriya Charana Kinkari Karu Prananatha Vrishabhananandani Srimakabja Rasalola Sadapada Radhika Padatale Kritastitim Tam Bhajami Rasikendra Shekhar Sambadaya Dashane Trinam Bibo Prardaye Brajamahendra Nandan Asto Mohan Tavati Balaba Janma Janmani Mariswari Priya. If Shri Radha is merciful to me, then unlimited obstacles to my devotion will be removed. There will be nothing superior for me to attain, because I will have received the excellence. Can somebody make this louder? Excellence offered by the paths of both Vaidhi and rag. And if she speaks something while smiling gently, thereby revealing the brilliance of the rows of her pearl-like teeth, what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shyamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose Murali flute enchants the mind, and who are most expert in relishing ras with Srimati Radhika. Could it be a drop lower? O ocean of mercy, please make me a kinkari at the feet of your beloved. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, always eager to taste the nectar of her lotus-like face. O Rasikendra Shekhar, foremost of those who are Rasik, who are situated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one, O Mohan, who enchants the minds of all, taking a piece of straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha be my dear worshipful goddess, birth after birth. First I offer my unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astotra Sat Shishimad, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Guru, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Gyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, to our grandfather gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, and to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, who are my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Van Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Siddhanti Maharaj. So today is the second day of our observance of this most significant holy day. Is this too loud? Holy day, Vasant Panchami, and the appearance day of Vishnu Priya Devi, Raghunandan Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, and the disappearance days of Sri Viswanath Chakrabarti Thakur and Sri Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj. So first I'm calling on Viswambar Prabhu to speak about the glories of Vishnu Priya Devi. Do you mind taking a chair there? I mean there, taking that chair there? And a pillow at least. Can somebody check the live stream to make sure the sound is proper? Tripurari Prabhu. And tell us if it's not.
Jnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya
Can you make that
chakshurun
lower?
militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Gurave gaura chandraya radhikaya tadalaye krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tadabhaktaya namo namaha. I offer my humble obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my Diksha Guru Dev, Om Vishnu Pad Stota Dasata Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, and the same obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my worshipful Shiksha Guru Devi, Om Vishnu Pad Stota Dasata Shri Srimati Syamarani Didi, and Shri Pad Madhav Priya Prabhu, to all the assembled devotees, and Shri Radha Raman Bihari, and all associates. Yesterday was the appearance day of Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, who is the consort of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His wife, actually his second wife, his first wife, got bit by a snake and died.
No, bit by the snake of separation.
Oh, thank you. Was there an actual snake, though?
I don't think so.
Oh. Bit by the snake of separation and left her body. And then after that, he was married with Vishnu Priya until he was 24 when he took sannyas. So Vishnu Priya Devi is a manifestation of Sri Radha. Srila Gurudev said, especially she's Satyabhama, and she's the Lord's Bhu Shakti. Typically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wouldn't talk to her or even look at her or give her any time, even though she was incredibly beautiful and his wife. But one day when she was bathing in the Ganga, on the way to the Ganga, she stubbed her toe on a rock and it started bleeding. So that was an inauspicious sign. And then when she was in the Ganga, her golden nose ring that she got when she was married fell off, and she was searching for it, and she was very upset that she had lost this nose ring. And so she was kind of lamenting, like, oh, why is all this stuff happening to me? Something feels wrong, something feels off. And then that night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and he was so nice to her, and he said, oh, my darling, and he gave her a garland, and he put betel nut in her mouth, and he started speaking sweet words to her, and braiding her hair, and doing her shringar, and she was like, something's up, because he never talks to me, he doesn't even look at me, and now he's giving me all this attention, what's going on?
So she couldn't even enjoy that moment.
Yeah, because she was so worried. She wanted to stay up, but by the influence of Yoga Maya, the Yoga Maya came in her eyelids and made her go to sleep, at which point Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. As he was going out...
How did her eyelids feel?
So heavy. She just couldn't keep them open, even though she wanted to. So at that point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he took initiation from his guru, Keshava Bharati, he kind of changed after that. Before he was Nimai Pandit, but then he really became a devotee. He would chant the Lord's names in ecstasy, crying, weeping, and a lot of his former... Sorry? Oh yeah, sorry, that's the... that was his sannyas guru. Ishwar Puri, thank you. He would cry and weep, and a lot of his former students started to criticize him. And so this was actually the reason why he wanted to take sannyas, was so that all these people would actually respect him, and in that way they would be benefited. Like it says in the Srila Prabhupada Ashtakam that we sing in the morning, how for the benefit of everyone else he takes sannyas. Like he actually downgrades his position as a sannyasi from being a manjari to benefit everyone. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was for everyone else's benefit taking sannyas, so people would have more faith in him. So
why were they criticizing him?
Before he was Nimai Pandit, and he was very scholarly, and he would teach them Sanskrit and all these things, but then afterwards he became like kind of a madman externally in prem, and they couldn't understand that, so they thought that he had gone mad.
Was that really the whole thing? Wasn't there something about him chanting Gopi Gopi? When he became mad, he was chanting Gopi Gopi, and some people thought that's not right. He should be chanting Krishna Krishna. So they criticized him, and he he got angry with them, and then they had a conspiracy with each other, and they decided that he wasn't worth respecting because he didn't even chant right. Okay.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Gopi Gopi, but they said he should be chanting Krishna instead. To reiterate in my own words, so I can remember it. So then Mother Shachi Mata, she was there. She knew what was happening because the mother knows about the child. Oh yeah, another thing with Vishnu Priya, like doing the Shringar and everything, it's like a kerosene lamp. Before it goes out, it gets brighter. It's like pop, pop, and then it goes out. So that was an example of how he was acting with her beforehand. So then...
So when she came back from the river, she was weeping a lot, so what happened? What did she do?
She talked to Sachi, Mother Sachi.
Who did what?
Who... I don't remember.
Tried to console her because
Right.
she told the whole story of the blood from the toe and the nose ring being lost and how worried she was.
Right.
And then Sachi Mata tried to console her, but she couldn't.
So Shachi Mata was there, but she was kind of paralyzed in, I don't know, I can't imagine the feeling of her son leaving to take sannyas after already having one son leaving and her son being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the personality of Godhead. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he paid obeisances to her, circumambulated her 3 or 4 times, and then he left. He jumped into the Ganges, crossed the other side, and then he went and took sannyas from Keshav Bharati, who Mahaprabhu kind of gave him the mantra that he would give him. He said, "Oh, are you going to give me this mantra?" And then he said the mantra, and then he said, "Okay, I'll give you that." So he wasn't a sannyasi, but again, he took sannyas from a Mayavadi in order to kind of make himself respectable within the society of Mayavadis, and everyone would respect him and have more faith in him and benefit from that. So after that, then Vishnu Priya Devi would weep and chant day and night his name, and she actually became even more renounced than he was. She would chant Hare Krishna, and after like one bead of chanting, she would chant with grains of rice. So she would make one full Hare Krishna mantra would be 1 grain of rice, and then in this way she would chant, and she would wash the rice with her tears as she was crying. And by about noon, she would give it to Mother Shachi to cook and offer. And they said that Mahaprabhu would always come to eat that bhog that was offered because of their love for him. He was always bound to come. And then of that rice, she would just take a little bit of it and eat that. That was her sustenance. And then people, when Mahaprabhu was there or in Jagannath Puri, people would go to see him, but she never could go to see him because she had been his wife and it wasn't appropriate. So and even Mahaprabhu, he was in so much separation, but he always had people to console him, whereas Vishnu Priya, her separation was the topmost, and she had no one even to console her. And then Mahaprabhu, he gave her a wooden deity of himself that she would worship.
I thought he already left.
Yeah, that's not clear. Did he give it before he left, or did he give it through someone? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure either. Could have been in a voice, but tonight when we meet again, I'll have the full information.
Srila Gurudev said that if we want to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and serve Krishna, then we have to be like her. always weeping, always chanting.
But was that when he was already in Jagannath Puri that she didn't go? Because my understanding is that he was still in Shantipur, and he was a sannyas, and everyone was coming because he had just taken sannyas. Everyone in Navadvip was invited, but she wasn't invited, even though he loved her the most, and she loved him the most more than anybody else. Still, she wasn't invited. So she was thinking, I loved him the most, and I'm not invited. But she understood why, and she never complained, just like she never complained when they were married. But why didn't he talk to her? Was he angry or something? Huh? That's my question.
I agree with your question.
What about the answer? Why didn't he talk to her for years?
Oh, well, he was too absorbed in his own
Yeah,
spirituality.
oh Krishna, where are you? Where are you?
To care about her. Not that they didn't care, but to
Pay
spend
attention.
time with her and everything. But she loves him, so she let him do that. And this was an interesting point at the end. Srila Gurudevi said that worshipping Mahaprabhu with Vishnu Priya is Archan Marg, or like the path of rules and regulations, whereas Bhav Marg, or the path of spontaneous love, is to worship Gaur and Gadadhar, which is, I mean, this is kind of a question that I had about this, which is somewhat answered here, is we hear that Radharani is Gadadhar Pandit, and then also his consort is Vishnu Priya Devi. So Srila Gurudev is saying that Satyabhama, who's a queen in Dwarka, is Vishnu Priya Devi. So that was interesting. Maybe Syamarani Didi can say more about that.
Well, just that their relationship is based on regulations of husband and wife, whereas Gadadhar, Vishnu Priya is a manifestation of Radhika, and we find that out in Godrum Dweep, when we go there, where Ramchandra and Sita are there, and in the forest being exiled, and all of a sudden he started smiling. She said, "Why are you smiling?" And he said, "Because in this birth, you are Sita, and you're an expansion of Radhika, and in the future, in Kali Yuga, I will be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and I will distribute the Dharma of Prem, and you will be Vishnu Priya. So in this life, as Sita and Ram, I will send you to the forest, and as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I will go to the forest, and you will be at home weeping. And then you will worship me. You will worship my deity when you are Vishnu Priya. And in this birth as Ram, I will worship your deity, the golden deity of Sita." So she said, "Well, why would you want to leave your wife suffering like that, and your poor mother? Why would you want to leave them?" And he told her that Prem is like that. There are two sides of Prem, separation and meeting. So when I'm a Krishna and you're Radha, then there will be meeting and separation. Similarly in this birth, and similarly as Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya, because without separation, meeting cannot reach its zenith point. So in separation, there's meeting as well. So that's there. Does that make sense?
As much as it can.
when we hear that there's meeting within separation, is it that they're internally experiencing actual meeting with the personality, or that the separation itself implies deeper meaning? Does that make sense?
Well, let's say a very close, beloved friend of yours dies, and you're feeling separation, then you'd be thinking of them so much that you feel like you're meeting with them. So what to speak of in the spiritual world, the thinking of someone is their presence. That's the absolute nature of the absolute truth. So by feeling separation, the absorption is more there even than in meeting, because in meeting you're externally relating, but you might not be as internal relating as at the time of separation. So there is actual meeting in separation. What separation also does is it increases the joy of meeting when you again meet.
Does that personality know that you're meeting them when you're meeting through remembrance?
If it's a transcendental personality, then yes, they know.
Okay, thanks.
There's 3 Vishnu Shaktis, Shri Shakti, Bhu Shakti, and Nila Shakti. And then Lakshmi Devi is Shri Shakti, and Vishnupriya Devi is Bhu Shakti. And I'm wondering what's the difference between them.
You know, for years I've been hoping no one would ask me that. How about if you do some research and then tell us tomorrow?
I just was doing research. I couldn't find the answer.
So that was excellent. Thank you very much. Had many beautiful details. Vishnupriya Devi ki jai ho. Jadya Abhirabhav Titi Mahamahotsav ki jai. Well, didn't you agree to speak about him yesterday? Yeah, sure. During Prasadam?
No, if somebody else, if you ask people, then somebody else did.
Oh, I know. I asked Tirthapad to ask you to share Viswanath Chakrabarti Thakur with him. Are you ready?
Yeah, I just need a copy of books. Do you have a copy of what's this small yellow book? The other, it's a commentary on Srila Rupa Goswami. Otherwise, I can read from Madhurya down to the habit.
And also in Prem Samput, and
It's the same.
the same.
Okay.
Prem Samput, Chamatkar Chandrika. Viswambar Prabhu, there's a place in Navadvip where the devotees go, and where Gurudev tells that history about Vishnupriya. Do you remember where that is? No, Mamagachi is the place where Ram is telling Sita what's going to happen when she's Vishnupriya. But where does Gurudev tell the whole pastime of Krishna not talking to in Nirdoigat? Nir means no, Doi means mercy. No mercy place. And it's the Ghat by the Ganges. Huh? I don't know. It was a place where he showed no mercy to Vishnupriya and his mother, Sachi. Yeah. It was freezing night, and the weather was terrible, and he jumped in the Ganges. Oh, Krishna, where are you? I'm coming to you. Yep.
Gyanatimrandasya Gyananjana Shilakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shgurave Namaha. I offer my obeisances unto my Diksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vangusa Maharaj, my Shiksha Guru, Pujaniya Srimati Syamarani Didi, and to all the assembled devotees. So, I have the great fortune to read and speak about Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. I know very little about him. I've found him to be kind of this interesting personality within our lineage. He is the grandfather guru of Srila Bhakti, the great-grandfather guru of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur within our lineage. He appeared in the world in the he left in the 1750s, so about 300 years ago. And we have his painting right here on the wall. One of the things I've heard about him is that he is a incarnation of Srila Rupa Goswami, and he wrote so many books and literatures, and and what he's written what I've seen tends to be like the super high intimate affairs between Radha and Krishna. Like we have the Prem Samput and Sri Chatmar Chandrika paintings over here. So it's always kind of interested me as who this personality is. So,
do you mind showing the paintings of him and the paintings of them, how they lit up? Okay. And do you know what he's doing here?
Weeping and writing.
Yeah, do you know what book? Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the picture that Gurudev told me to do for Bhagavad Gita.
Wow. I guess, and so we have him, not only did he write these, like did he reveal these very high pastimes for us, but he also gave us a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, which is, it's a Sadarshana Pradayani. Okay, I got the words wrong. But his commentary was also then what my Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj used as one of the commentaries in his commentary. He additionally used Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to read from the life history of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. So he appeared in a family of Brahmanas from the Radia community of the Nadia
Slower,
district.
louder, more dramatic.
He appeared in a family of Brahmanas from the Radhiya community of the Nadia district in West Bengal. And so I assume that the Nadia district is Nadia where Nimai was born. He was celebrated by the name Hari Vallabh, and he had two older brothers, Ramabhadra and Raghunatha. During his childhood, he completed his study of grammar in Devagrama village. He then studied devotional scripture at the home of his spiritual master in the Shahidabad village of the Murshidabad district. While living in Shahidabad, he wrote Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, which is the ocean of Bhakti Ras condensed into one drop, Ujvala Nilamani Kirana, and Bhagavatamrita Kana. So those first two are commentaries on Srila Rupa Goswami's works. Soon after he renounced household
What about
life.
Bhagavatamrita Kana?
I don't know. I didn't want to assume.
Well, if it's Bhagavatamrita,
I was going to assume it's a commentary on Bhagavatamrita by Srila Sanatana Goswami, but I didn't want to assume.
Yes, you're right.
So he was doing this in his household life, and similar to our own Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who wrote over 100 books in over 3, if not 4 languages, while he was still a householder. So, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur is extremely important to Gaudiya Vaishnavas for many, many reasons. After the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya and the 6 Goswamis, the current of unalloyed devotion, Shuddha Bhakti, continued to flow through Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, and Shyamananda Prabhu. And so Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur is fourth in this line, which if you look at things not chronologically, but through a time sequence, you'd be confused because Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur had Srila Narottam Das Thakur is the great-great-grandfather guru of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. But we are a Shiksha line. So, Srila Narottam...
We're a Shiksha Diksha line.
We're a Shiksha Diksha line. And if you want to understand more about how we are, what it means to be a Shiksha line and why this is a bona fide lineage, I believe that is in Jaiva Dharma. Correct?
Well, it's also in Acharya Keshari. There's a big section on that, on our Shiksha Diksha line. Huh?
And so in his commentary to the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the commentary to the Ras Panchadayi, which is the 5 chapters describing the Ras dance, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur writes a verse glorifying his gurus, Sri Ram, Krishna, Ganga, Charanana Natva, Gurunum Premna, Srila Narottama Nata, Shri Gauranga Prabhum Naumi. So that's where he's giving his lineage and going through Narottam Das Thakur. So in addition to continuing on our lineage and our disciplic succession, he refuted the opinions of the How much time do I have, by the way? I don't want to...
What time are we supposed to stop? Vasanti, are you here?
9.
Huh? Okay.
Okay, so there was so to share with everybody, I kind of condensed this one story. There was a disciple of Srila Srinivasacharya, his daughter's disciple was spreading an Apasiddhanta opinion, saying that there was no need for Vaidhi Marg. One could just do Rag Marg without doing any hearing and chanting, and they could just remember and do Raganuga Bhakti. So in his commentary to the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he completely proved unequivocally that qualified he completely defeated all the false conclusions, including a conclusion that that householders could not be acharyas. So,
I don't think practically anyone in this room knows what you just said.
Yeah, that was a little bit too much.
Why don't you just read it?
Okay, Hemalata Thakurani was the learned Vaishnavi daughter of Srinivasacharya. Once an estranged disciple of hers named Rupa Kaviraj concocted his own doctrine, which opposed the philosophical conclusions of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He taught that the position, this is the Apasampradaya person, taught that the position of Acharya could only be occupied by one in the renounced order.
Does it have a name? Does he have a name?
Rupa Kaviraj. Good. Never by a householder. Rupa Kaviraj disregarded the necessity of following Vidhi Marg, the path of regular devotional practice, and propagated a so-called Rag Marg, doctrine of spontaneous attraction, that was undisciplined and disorderly. His new doctrine stated that one could abandon the practices of hearing and chanting and practice Raganuga Bhakti by remembrance alone. For this, Hemalata Thakurani, who was the daughter of Srinivasacharya, ensured that Rupa Kaviraj was expelled from the Gaudiya Vaishnava community. Since that time, Gaudiya Vaishnavas have known him as Adhibadi. Fortunately, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur was present at this time, and he refuted Rupa Kaviraj's false conclusions in his Sarartha Darshini, commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam's 3rd canto. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur proved unequivocally that qualified householder descendants of an acharya may act as acharya. He said that it is unlawful and contrary to the statements of Scripture for unfit descendants of acharya families to adopt the title Goswami out of greed for disciples and wealth.
just
House-
because they're renounced. They're not householders.
Right. And as we hear, to expand, it's as we hear from our scriptures that Goswami and even one's ashram is not based on one's birth, it is based on one's internal character. So householder disciples in the line of Srila Nityananda Prabhu's son, Virabhadra, and descendants of the rejected sons of Sri Advaita Acharya award and accept the title Goswami, an action considered improper by Vaishnava Acharyas. Although Srila Chakravarti Thakur acted as an Acharya, he personally never used the title Goswami in order to instruct the foolish and unfit descendants of Acharya families of modern times. So the next story is how he protected the honor of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya through Sri Baladeva Vidyabhushana. So in his old age, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur spent most of his time in a semi-conscious state, deeply absorbed in bhajan. During that time, a debate broke out in Jaipur between the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who supported the doctrine of Swakya, or the Lord's pastimes of wedded love. The Vaishnavas in this antagonistic camp, those of Sri Ramanujacharya line, had led King Jaya Shah Singh II of Jaipur to believe that the worship of Srimati Radhika and the Gopis and Govinda Deva was not supported by the scriptures. Their contention was that Srimati Radhika's name is neither mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam nor the Vishnu Purana, and that she was never married to Sri Krishna according to Vedic ritual, which we all know that she was, by Lord Brahma. The antagonistic Vaishnavas further objected that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas did not belong to a recognized sampradaya or line of disciplic succession. From time immemorial, there have been 4 Vaishnava sampradayas: the Sri Sampradaya, the Brahma Sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya, and the Sanaka Kumara Sampradaya. In this age of Kali, the principal acharyas of these 4 sampradayas are respectively Sri Ramanuja, that's the Sri Sampradaya, Sri Madhavacharya, our Sampradaya, Sri Vishnu Swami, which is the Rudra Sampradaya, and Sri Nimbadicha Swami of the Sanaka Sampradaya. The Ramanuja Vaishnavas said that Gaudiya Vaishnavas were outside these 4 sampradayas and therefore without pure lineage. Further, they argued that because Gaudiya Vaishnavas did not have their own commentary on Brahma Sutra, also known as Vedanta Sutra, they could not follow a genuine Vaishnava disciplic succession. Maharaj Jai Singh knew that the prominent Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas of Vrindavan were followers of Rupa Goswami, and he summoned them to Jaipur to take up the challenge of the Sri Ramanuja Vaishnavas.
Summoned them or summoned one?
Yeah, it said he said it. Summon them.
Yeah. Well, we'll see why I questioned that.
Well, the elderly Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was fully absorbed in the transcendental bliss of bhajan. So he sent his student, Srila Baladev Bijubhushan Prabhu, to address the Jaipur assembly. Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedantacharya, Srila Baladev Vijubhushan, the crown of the assembly of learned scholars and the greatest among exalted teachers of Vedanta, left for Jaipur accompanied by Srila Chakravarti Thakur's disciple, Sri Krishna Deva. The caste Goswamis had forgotten their own connection. The caste Goswamis had forgotten their own connection with the Madhva Sampradaya and disrespected the Gaudiya Vaishnava's doctrinal view, saying it has no connection with Vedanta. This caused considerable disturbance to the true Gaudiya Vaishnavas, but Srila Baladev Vijubhushan used irrefutable logic combined with powerful scriptural evidence to prove the Gaudiya Sampradaya to be a pure Vaishnava Sampradaya, called the Sri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, coming in the line of Sri Madhvacharya. Sri Jiva Goswami, Srila Kavi Karnapur, and other previous acharyas also accepted this as fact. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the genuine commentary on Vedanta Sutra. For this reason, no one in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya had written a separate commentary on Vedanta Sutra. The name Srimati Radhika, the personification of the pleasure-giving potency, Ladini Shakti, and the eternal beloved of Sri Krishna is mentioned in various Puranas. Throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, particularly the 10th canto in connection with the description of the Lord's pastimes in Vrindavan, Srimati Radhika is referred to indirectly and discreetly. Only Rasik and Bhavuka devotees conversant with the conclusions of scriptures can understand this confidential mystery. In the learned assembly in Jaipur, Srila Baladev Bijubhushan refuted the arguments and doubts of the opposing party, and they were silenced by his presentation. He established that the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are in the disciplic succession from Sri Madhvacharya. Despite his victory, however, the contesting party did not accept the Gaudiya Sampradaya to be of pure Vaishnav lineage because the Gaudiyas had no commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Srila Baladev Vijubhushan therefore composed the famous Gaudiya commentary, Sri Govinda Vasya, and he composed it under the direction of Sri Govinda Dev. It was composed within one night, an extremely, incredibly short time, all in the state of trance being dictated by the deity. Once again, the worship of Sri Sri Radha Govinda commenced in the temple of Sri Govinda Dev, and the validity...
Yeah, Govinda, the deity, he was in the Govinda temple, and Govinda, because this was in Jaipur where Govinda is, and Govinda said, don't worry, you just move your pen and I'll dictate. Because how to write a whole commentary on Vedanta Sutra in one night? Only because he was the scribe for Govinda Dev. Yes?
Is that how you painted all your paintings?
No. I told Gurudev that I never know what the next stroke is supposed to be. Like I'll do a stroke and then I'll wait for somebody to do the next stroke and then there's nobody there. So then I try to put the next stroke somewhere. So I said, so I feel like painting, like I'm painting in the dark. So Gurudev said, then paint by my light. Otherwise just merge into me, think of me.
So through this, the validity of the Sri...
And then with Prabhupada, this was in the beginning, in like 67, when the second artist, Murlidhar, joined. And like I was a really terrible painter at that time. But Murlidhar said, how can I paint like me? So Prabhupada said, I have taught her how to paint. And then he pretended to paint in the air, and he said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Means by chanting. And then in 1976, in Vrindavan, Prabhupada said, in the beginning she could not paint, but by the process of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, hearing and chanting about Krishna, the talent came out.
And so through this Govinda Bhashya, the validity of the Sri Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya was firmly established. It was only on the authority of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur that Sri Baladev Vijubhushan was able to write Sri Govinda Bhashya and prove the connection of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas with the Madhva Sampradaya. There should be no doubt in this regard. This accomplishment of Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, performed on behalf of the Sampradaya, will be recorded in golden script in the history of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Now the next section is the attainment of the meaning of Kam Gayatri by the mercy of Srimati Radhika. So in his Mantrartha Dipika, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur describes a special event. Once, while reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita...
Do you know what Mantra Dipika means?
The light that reveals the wealth of the mantra.
The meaning of the mantra.
Once, while reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he came upon a verse, Madhya Lila 21:125, describing the meaning of the Kam Gayatri mantra. The Kam Gayatri is identical with Sri Krishna. In this king of mantras, there are 24.5 syllables, and each syllable is a full moon. This aggregate of moons has caused the moon of Sri Krishna to rise and fill the three worlds with prema. This verse establishes that the Kam Gayatri is composed of 24.5 syllables, but despite deep deliberation, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur could not ascertain which syllable in the mantra was the half syllable. He scrutinized grammar books, Puranas, Tantras, scriptures dealing with drama and rhetoric, and other great texts. Among the vowel and consonant groups in Sri Harinamamrita Vyakarana, the grammar methodology of Srila Jiva Goswami, he found mention of only 50 letters. He studied the arrangement of letters in texts such as the Matrikanyasa and in the Radhika Sahasra Nama Stotra of Purihan Naradiya Purana. He found that Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radhika is also named Panchashad Varna Rupini, one whose form is composed of 50 syllables. In all the literatures he studied, however, he found mention of only 50 vowels and consonants. There was no mention of any half syllable. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti's doubt increased. He wondered whether Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami had made a mistake in his writing. Of course this could not have been possible, because Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is omniscient and therefore free from material defects, such as falling into illusion or error. If the fragmented letter T, the final letter of the Kam Gayatri, were taken as the half syllable, then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami would be guilty of the fault of disorder. For in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, he is given the following description. In these lines, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes Krishna's face as the first full moon. His cheeks are the two further full moons. The dot of sandalwood on the upper portion of his forehead is the fourth full moon, and just below this moon of the 8th day, Ashtami, in other words, a half moon. According to this description, the fifth syllable is a half syllable. Yet, Shri Shri Radhaman Bihari ki jai.
Shri Shri Radharaman Bihari Ji ki jai.
If the fragmented T, the final letter of the Kam Gayatri mantra, is seen to be a half syllable, then the fifth syllable could not be seen as such. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur was in a profound dilemma because he could not decipher the mysterious half syllable. He concluded that if the syllables would not reveal themselves, he would be unable to behold the worshipful deity of the mantra. He decided if he could not obtain the audience of the deity of the mantra, it would be better to die. Thinking in this way, he set out at night to the banks of Sri Sri Radhakund to give up his life. After the second division of the night had passed, Srila Chakravarti Thakur fell into light sleep when the daughter of Sri Vishwamanu Maharaj, Srimati Radhika, appeared before him. "Oh Vishwanatha, oh Harivalabha," it's his childhood name. She said affectionately, "Do not lament. What Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj has written is the absolute truth. By my grace, he knows all the inner sentiments of my heart. Have no doubt about his statements. The Kam Gayatri is a mantra to worship my dearly beloved and me, and we become revealed to the devotees through the syllables of this mantra. No one can know us without my kindness. The half syllable is described in the book Varnagama Basvat. It is after concluding this text that Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj determined the actual identity of the Kam Gayatri. Study this book and broadcast this meaning for the benefit of all faithful people." When he heard this instruction from Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radhika herself, Srila Chakravarti arose, calling out in great lamentation, "O Radha! O Radha!" When he regained composure, he proceeded to carry out Srimati Radhika's order.
The offering is still being made? Okay.
According to Srimati Radhika's indication, the letter Ya preceding V in the mantra is considered a half syllable, and all the other syllables are full syllables or full moons. Thus, by Srimati Radhika's mercy, Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur became acquainted with the deep meaning of the mantra. He attained the direct audience of his worshipful deity, and his internal perfected spiritual body, Siddhadeha, he was able to participate in turning the correct page. The Lord's eternal pastimes as his loving associate. He established the deity of Sri Gokulananda on the bank of Sri Radhakund, and while residing there, he experienced the sweetness, madhurya, of the eternal pastimes of Sri Vrindavan. It was at this time that he wrote his Sukha Vartini commentary on Srila Kavi Karnapur's Ananda Vrindavana Champu, and stated therein, completely leaving aside all other things, I, Chakravarti, only desire to attain Sri Vrindavan. Residing in a simple hut on the bank of Sri Radhakund, the topmost place of Sri Radha's pastimes, I write this commentary on Ananda Vrindavana Champu. In his old age, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur spent most of his time in a fully internal state or in a semi-conscious state, deeply absorbed in bhajan. His principal disciple, Srila Baladev Bajubhishan, took over the responsibility of teaching the scriptures. Shall I continue?
Well, the offering isn't completed yet. So. Huh? Well, this same person is a very interesting. At the end is an interesting history of what happened.
With the girls? With the men?
Yeah.
Do you want me to just...
Isn't it right there?
Yeah. When a slight decline, reestablishing the doctrine of Parakya. When a slight decline in the influence of the 6 Goswamis took place in Sri Vrindavan, a controversy arose around the doctrines of wedded love, Swakiyavad, versus paramour love, Parakiyavad. To dispel misconceptions regarding Swakiyavad, Srila Chakravarti Thakur wrote Rag Vartma Chandrika and Gopi Premamrita, both of which are replete with scriptural philosophical conclusions, and Rag Vartma Chandrika we typically have in the boutique. Thereafter, in his translated there, graciously by Param Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan
Rag Vartma
Goswami.
Chandrika is very important for everybody to read.
Thereafter, in his Ananda Chandrika commentary on the verse Lagutvam Atra Yat Proktam of Sri Ujjvala Nilamani 121, he showed that the theory of Swakya was fallacious, and he established a conception of Parakya with scriptural evidence and irrefutable
I don't think anybody
arguments.
here knows what Swakya and Parakya is.
Swakya is wedded love, and Parakya is paramour. So we worship Krishna in Parakya, because it enhances the relationship and deepens the love in the meeting. There's the example of actually the famous verse that Srila Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu uttered of a mundane poetry. There's a woman who's lamenting because after her and her husband got married, it was no longer as fun. You know, they didn't have to, before when they were unmarried and they were meeting, they would meet in secret and nobody would know. But then suddenly they're married, everybody knew, they didn't have to maintain it. It lost a lot of the intimacy and the excitement. So Parakya, although in this world, Parakya, paramour love, is detestable and completely against a well-structured society, in the spiritual world, it's a very deep love.
I just want to make a little announcement here that the schedule is very tight so that the devotees can go out and preach timely. So if the offering is late, it throws everything. If one person makes the offering late because he doesn't come in to cook on time, or he decides to make 10 Sunday feasts for breakfast, and then the offering has to be late, and then the class has to be late, and then everything is late because of everybody's schedule is off because of one person. So I wonder if there's some way that if somebody's late with the cooking is the whole thing, that either keeps the schedule on time or throws it off. If there's some way that someone can ensure that the cooking is done on time, and if the cook is late, get somebody else or get an assistant for the cook, to the cook. Okay, thank you. Faster offerings also. Yeah, the offering is very long today.
Further in his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave strong support to Parakya Bhav. So certain scholars opposed the conclusions of Srila Chakravarti Thakur on worship in the mood of Parakya. When he defeated them with superior erudition and sound reasoning, they resolved They resolved, when he defeated these scholars who were opposed to these conclusions, they resolved out of envy to kill him. They knew that Srila Chakravarti Thakur used to circumambulate Vrindavan early each morning, so they hid in a dark, dense grove and waited for him to walk by. As his adversaries watched him approach, he suddenly disappeared, and in his place, a beautiful young girl of Braj appeared, picking flowers with some of her friends. The scholars asked the girl, "Dear child, just a moment ago, a great devotee was coming this way. Did you see where he went?" The girl replied that she had seen him, but that she didn't know where he had gone. Her astonishing beauty, gentle smile, graceful manner, and sidelong glances captivated the scholars. Their hearts melted, and all the impurities in their minds were vanished. They asked the girl who she was, and she replied, "I am a maidservant of Srimati Radhika. She is presently at her in-laws' house in Yavat, and she sent me here to pick flowers." Having spoken thus, the girl disappeared, and in her place the scholars saw Srila Chakravarti Thakur once again. They fell at his feet and prayed for forgiveness, and he forgave them all. There are many such astonishing occurrences in the life of Srila Chakravarti Thakur. In this way, Srila Chakravarti Thakur refuted the theory of Swakiya and established the truth of pure Parakiya, an achievement of great import for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur not only protected the integrity of the Sri Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma, but he also re-established its influence in Sri Vrindavan. Anyone who evaluates this accomplishment will be struck with wonder at his uncommon genius. Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas have composed the following verse in praise of his extraordinary work. Vishvasya natarupo so
natarupo so bhaktavartma pradarshana bhakta chakre vartitvat chakravartyaya bhavat.
He is known by the name.
Excuse me, one more second. Can everybody close up the bookwork and the what do you call those? Gateway's work, and get the tarps out so that the moment the offering is off, prasadam can be taken. Go ahead.
He is known by the name Vishwanath, Lord of the Universe, because he indicates the path of bhakti, and he is known as Chakravarti, or he around whom the circle of assembly turns, because he always remains within the assembly, chakra, of pure devotees. Therefore his name is Vishwanatha Chakravarti. In about 1754, on the 5th day of the light phase of the moon, in the month of Magh, when Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur was about 100 years old, he left this material world in Vrindavan, deeply absorbed in internal consciousness. Today his samadhi stands next to the temple of Sri Sri Radhakukulananda in Sri Dham, Vrindavan.
Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Yeah, we can see how amazingly powerful they are. They can turn it into a manjari, then back to their sadhak form at will. Thank you. Good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gora Hari Bol. Jai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Go Premanandi. And I request that if the cook is late,